getting ready to rob a bank. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Melody.
And today we're playing a game, How to Rob a Bank. Except in the rule book, it specifically says this game will not teach you how to rob a bank. Robbing banks is wrong, which I'm glad it said because I did not know that. This is a one versus many game in which one person is going to be the bank security force and the other players, one, two, or three, are going to be playing criminals trying to rob the bank, which once again, I like to point out, is wrong. Here's how it plays. So this game is going to take place over 3 rounds. The players are going to have to steal either 4 bags of money in a 2-3 player game or 5 bags of money in a 4-player game. You're going to mix up the tiles, kind of like this, and then take turns, then just flip them over and put them out here on the board. Now this one, for example, is actually only used in a 2 to 3 player game, so I wouldn't have shuffled that in. I'm pretending I'm setting up for a 4-player game. And this tile would be used in a 4-player game instead. So if the walls block a room in, you would move them, but as it is, none of the walls are blocking anything. The 3 guards are going to be placed on the shields where they are. A money bag is going to be placed on the money bag spots. The alarm token is placed on the alarm spot. And where the little mask symbol is, that's where you're going to put the 3 robbers. And then you're going to put the car on a street, basically as far away from the robbers as you can. Each player, including the player playing the police, or playing the bank, is going to be drawing 8 cards from their deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're going to shuffle the deck and then draw them. And then they're going to play these cards. So maybe the police officer is going to play this card, and he'll place it here. And then the next player, the yellow player, will play a card and place it here. Then the red player, and then the green player. And then the police will play another card. And then the yellow player, then the red player, then the green player, and etc. You're going to do this so everyone has played 5 cards. You'll then flip the piles over, and then you will play the card. So the police turns this card over and plays it. Now this card here says move 1 police officer, then tackle a robber. So maybe the police officer moves in here and tackles the green robber. The yellow player takes theirs, and it says they can move a robber, then pick up a money bag, or spray a police officer, knocking them down. Well, they can do this in any order. They don't want to do that. They want to go here and pick up the money bag. They also, each of the criminals has a free action that they can do. So they can move this car 1 space. They can throw a bag into the car, as long as they're not in the same room as a guard. They can pass the money off to someone else, or they can pull the alarm if they're in the spot where the alarm is. So they move the car. The red player can unlock something with their card, if something's locked, which it's not. The green player can move 1 with their card, but they can't move because they're laying down. So you can always ignore everything on your card and just stand back up. So the player is going to take turns doing this. The police officer has mostly move, tackle, robbers. They can also lock an item. They turn the item down and it's locked, and the criminals can't get it till they unlock it. So their cards are basically be mixtures of that. The criminal cards are going to be mixtures of movement, grabbing bags, spraying out the police. This lets them move from one room to any other room because they're crawling through the ventilation ducts, unlocking things, and combinations of that. So if the criminals manage to get to a car and throw the bag out, then the bag goes here. Otherwise, after all the cards been played, if they're still holding a bag, too bad. That round is over. So you're trying to get at least 1 bag, hopefully 2 bags out each round, because in a 4-player game, for example, there's only 3 rounds, so you're going to need 2, 2, and 1, or maybe you can get all 3 out in 1 round. If the alarm is pulled by one of the robbers, then all the guards instantly move to that spot. The guards can lock the alarm down, so it has to be unlocked before it can be pulled. And you can't move through walls, and you can't throw a bag through a wall, and you can't throw a bag if a criminal's there. You can't steal money if a police officer is there. And I think I actually just did that on the first turn because I think there was a police officer standing. No, they moved here and got the money. They're fine. And that's pretty much it. Very simple rules. The cards, I should point out, are really good quality cards. And you reshuffle and you re-deal out the bank layout and draw 8 different cards for round 2. So if after 3 rounds the robbers have not stolen enough money, then the bank wins. Otherwise, if they get the money, they win. Okay, first of all, this game, when I first got it, just looked fun. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. First, it's called How to Rob a Bank. Shiny cover. You got at the components. The components are really well done. Nice tiles. The cards are really good quality. They have that like shiny thing on them.
But they stuck together.
Well, that was only that first game. I really thought the cards were high quality. The icons on the card are really simple. You don't sit there and go, I wonder what that card means. No, you know instantly. You have like 4 different things. Move, steal, tackle, pepper spray, lock or unlock. Really, really simple game. And it's a very, I don't know, it just looks really cool. And it's a theme that's not often involved in games. One person being the good guy, everyone else is the bad guys. Usually it's one person's the bad guy.
And everyone else is the good guy.
Right. What did you think about how it looked and the components and all that?
To me, I think the design was very simple, but it worked for this game. Like, I liked how it was like a small board. It was kind of like a blueprint kind of thing. So that was nice. Instead of like a whole, like, you know, a bigger board with a lot more detail, which would not really have worked because it's like, especially since the tiles, you're just putting them on. You don't really need all the detail in the background.
Yeah, it's a little abstractish, but it does still look good. The little cars zooming around the outside. Now, I'm curious if you agree with me on this. Which side do you think is harder to play?
The guards.
Really? See, I think we disagree. I think it's harder to play the bank robbers because the bank robbers have to work together. And working together is a really big deal in this game, unless you're playing a 2-player game, in which case you control the guards. But as the guards, you have to make sure that car is in the right spot.
Oh, yeah.
And you only get that one free action on your turn, and you use it to move the car, and then... So you have to kind of coordinate by talking a little bit, but not being too obvious, because the guard's sitting there. What are you saying?
And also they can see the cards being played, which I also thought was really cool. Like, you see the guard plays card, and then you're like, okay, he's going to tackle one of us. We don't know which one, so we're just going to... For me, I was just like, there was only one round where I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Boo, boo, boo. But the other one was like, maybe this one? I forgot what the other cards were, so I'm going to randomly play this one again.
Right, there's definitely a memory element to the game for everybody. Because on your first turn, the guard plays a card. And depending on how the room's set up, so let's say he can tackle any of the 3 people in the first turn. There's usually a good chance of that happening. So all 3 of those people have to play cards. The guard, if only one of them is going to rob, that's probably the one the guard's going to take out. But if 2 of them play robbing, then the guard has to think about it. And you're watching as each card gets played, trying to think ahead of time. So it's a programming game, but you can see the programming. It's not like the programming is secret. And if you get messed up, it's not because of any other reason than memory or whatever. So memory does play a small part in this game. There's only 5 cards, although if you're the guard, you have to remember 15.
Luck is also involved because you could, like, you know, have a really good plan, and then it gets messed up either by a tackle that you didn't see coming.
Well, I don't think that's luck, though.
Well, yes.
I think there is luck in the game. You're only using 8 cards out of your 15 deck. And sometimes you don't get the cards you want exactly, or sometimes the layout of the bank just seems to favor the guards and or the bank robbers. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is like
3 rounds.
Right. This is like a 20, 30-minute game. Maybe 10 minutes per round, I would say, seems legitimate. And I personally think that the most experienced person should play the criminals because it's harder for them to work together, obviously. You think it's harder to play the guards. But it's fun. It's silly. You don't have to worry about people getting shot with guns. There's no guns in this. It's just pepper spray and tackling. Not sure why. I tackle you as you're robbing a bank. I'm like, all right, you stay there. I go somewhere else. It just seems kind of...
Like getting knocked out of it or something?
I guess. Like you're stunned with the Tweety Birds. Yeah, but for me, I was really impressed with this whole package. It's a fun theme. It's sold for an inexpensive price, has good components. It has that one versus all thing, which a lot of people like. I thought it was a pretty neat game.
When I first saw the layout, I was like, this is going to be a kid game kind of feeling. And I was just like, I may not enjoy this. But in the end, it was a lot more, like, not as complicated, but, like, more difficult than a normal kids game. And I had a whole lot of fun with it.
What would you rank it?
An 8.
An 8? Woo! I think she likes it more than I do. I'd give it a 7, but I think it's a very solid little package. Maybe a 7.5. There's a lot of game in here. It's unique and interesting. I believe this game is going to be sold at Target, which is fantastic because this is the kind of game I want people to grab off the shelf and play. Easy to learn, offers a lot of strategy, keeps the luck involved so that it's not overwhelming. You know, like, oh, I know more strategy, I'll beat you. Just something that feels fresh and different. How to rob a bank. Let's go do that. No. Oh, probably not.
Not on camera.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. We would never do such a thing. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Melody.
And you've been watching Double Trouble.
Boom!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.